Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to take a look at another one of these creature replica figures. This one, as you can see in front of you, is the Louisiana Rugaru, and I'm super psyched to look at it here with you guys. I had to turn the lights kind of away from it because with this plastic it was just too shiny. I really couldn't see much of anything going on, so to give you an idea of the packaging and stuff, it looks really cool. You've got a nice image there of the Rougarou in the background, but it's just a little too reflective right now. I just can't really show you guys what it looks like exactly, but here on the back you've got the information about Creatureplica, along with a shot here of the other figures in the line, so I'm super psyched. And to get a better look at this, we're just going to break it out of the packaging right away because it's just so tough to see it with the glare coming off of the plastic. So let's open this up right now. So here is the base, and interestingly enough, it's not like the base for the Yeti, because this base, as you can see, actually has 3 different pegs, and that is to give you options as far as posability with your Rougarou, but it also has this little area right here, kind of an area where you could slide something in, and that's because you actually have this guy, which you can slide him in right here into the base. And look at that, how awesome is that? Such a very, very cool addition to this base. The base at first glance looks amazing, honestly. So you've got the base, and then you've of course got your Rougarou right here, who just happens to be a little too tall to really fit into frame unless we move the camera up. There we go. And you also have a couple of little extras here that we can slide onto him here in 2 different spots. A couple more as well. So we'll actually go ahead and take a closer look at all of this right now. So as far as our Rougarou goes, which would be the main attraction of this set overall, it is amazing looking, absolutely fantastic here at first glance. Looking at it up close, it's the first time I've seen it out of the packaging, and it's really incredible looking. The eyes are painted beautifully with a greenish color and are given a white dot there for the pupil, and also to kind of give that very creepy vibe. When you look at it from a distance, it looks super creepy looking now with that white spot on the eye. The eyes are also really nicely glossed, giving them a very realistic eye shine. Beautifully done. The gloss is applied perfectly. It's not overly glossed or under glossed. It's definitely like that perfect amount to really beautifully insinuate eye shine. The hair and fur all over the face looks incredible. You can see it's all very shaggy and just kind of all over the place, and both sides of the head look very different as far as the way the fur is hanging off of the head and everything, giving it a very realistic appearance, because you're not going to see the fur looking exactly the same anywhere pretty much on the animal, and you can see that it's very shaggy, very bushy, and it's perfectly sculpted to really give it a very realistic appearance. The ears are also sculpted out up here on the top of the head, and they look incredible. I almost feel like I could look inside the ears like you could on a real living animal. Really, really nice sculpt work, which is pretty much already what I'm accustomed to when it comes to these creature replica figures, because the Himalayan Yeti was just off the charts beautiful as far as the sculpt, and once again that's exactly what I'm seeing here with this Rougarou. When we get to the mouth area, you can see the teeth look amazing to me. Beautifully sculpted gums in there, and you can see the teeth are just very gritty looking, very dirty-ish looking, very nice yellowish coloration that they've given them to really give it a very realistic appearance for sure. You can again pick up on the gums on this side. It kind of appears as though it's growling, so it has a very, very mean look to it. The jaw is articulated, so you can't open the mouth and see that the tongue is present in there. It's really nicely painted, beautifully glossed also, as is the upper side of the mouth. It's just a little tough to get in there. It's a little dark to really see what's going on inside the mouth, but it definitely looks really, really nice here in person, and the jaw articulates perfectly. Very, very nicely articulated jaw. Then you've also got the nose up here, sculpted on the top of the snout. That looks incredible, and the paint application of the head looks very nice. You can see that there are many different tones of coloration included as far as light and darker grays, giving it that very realistic appearance that you would expect to see if this were a living animal right in front of you. You can also pick up on some hints of browns and stuff here and there as well, like right in this general vicinity, giving it once again some very realistic color tones as far as what the fur would look like. And you can see that same ordeal back here on the back of the head and the back of the neck. You can see that the hair is really nicely painted. They did an incredible job on the overall realism of not only the Yeti, but now on this figure, and a lot of time and care is spent making sure that this is painted as perfectly as you would want it. Again, look how beautiful the sculpt and detail is of the fur as we run down the back, and you can see how incredibly muscular the animal is. Exactly what you would expect to see on a very large Rougarou. You're going to expect it to be a very muscular animal, and that is definitely what I see here. You can see that it also has very large chest muscles over here, huge pecs, I guess you could say. Beautifully sculpted throat, and the incredible fur detail continues all over the figure. You can see again some color variation here with some browns that just kind of mesh really beautifully amongst those grays. As you do come down into the chest area, you can again pick up on how many different variations of color are included. Lots of very nice difference when it comes to the grays that are used. We come down into the shoulders and you can now see how muscular the animal is here in the arms. Very nice veiny type of an appearance to the arms as well. It really has a kind of a dirty appearance to the animal. You're not going to expect it to be very clean. And then we get down into the hands, and look how disturbingly creepy looking these hands are. And they are given a nice dark wash in certain areas to really bring out all the very incredible detail and everything that is present. The nails are painted really nicely, very realistically, and once again, like I said in the Yeti review, you don't see any sloppiness or anything, so a lot of time and care has gone into the figures, which is really cool to see. Beautiful gloss coat on the nails as well, making them shine very realistically, and you can see the same deal over here on this hand. Really, really incredible work. I am blown away by just how much attention to detail is given from Creatureplica on these figures. As we get down here into the lower part of the animal, you can see lots of very nice skin tone and everything. Again, as there's areas that kind of have like the skin hanging out, and then there's areas where the fur kind of creeps back in. Looks really cool. Once again, it's incredibly muscular all over the place. There's also a really nice tail here sculpted out in the back, giving it that very dog-like appearance. And then we get down here into the feet. Nice calf muscles there. And again, the fur looks awesome. Really, really awesome everywhere you look at it. And then as do the feet. The feet are incredible. We've got those beautifully painted and sculpted nails. You can also see some really nice detailing within the nails as well. Lots of cracks and stuff included in the actual nails. Even the underside of the feet look amazing. Really nicely padded feet, like you would expect to find beautifully painted nails on the underside as well. So again, there is definitely a lot of time and care put into this figure, and it's just amazing to me that these are even a thing, because as far as cryptids go, we really don't get cryptid figures very often. Every once in a while a company will make one or two, but you just don't get things like this. So Creatureplica, I really praise them just for creating amazing things like this, giving fans of cryptids the type of figures that are pretty much dream-worthy, I would say. And then as I was saying, we have a few extras that are included in here. So you got this little guy here you can hang over the back of your Rougarou, and then you've got two others that you can just slide onto the wrists, just like that. So I just dropped one, but these additions are definitely really neat, definitely the type of thing that's fun to have for your figure as far as kind of giving it some display ability, some display options for sure. But as far as the base goes, if we take a look at the base, you can see the base is beautifully sculpted, really nice vegetation all over the place. You've also got kind of some earthy areas with like some dirt and stuff and some stones sticking out. It kind of has a bit of a gloss coat, so it sort of resembles like a muddy area. And I love that they've put so much paint variation into the base. You can see that as far as the vegetation goes, some are like light greens and some are darker greens, and there's just so much variation as far as the vegetation goes, as far as those greens. And that is exactly what you would see in a real area like this, something that looks extremely realistic. So even though they go the extra mile to make sure that your actual figure is very realistic looking, they also do the same for the base, and you can beautifully tell just how much time, care, and love went into these bases. And if we actually take a look at this over here, look how incredibly sculpted that is. Ridiculously, ridiculously nice. A very cool addition to the base, and even the skeletal remains right here are incredibly sculpted, and I really love that they've included things like kind of moss growing up onto it, even up here on the top of the skull, just giving it such an incredible dose of realism. So the base is just off the charts, as is the figure. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look at the articulation, get it on the pegs, and take a look at the overall set when it is actually put together. So starting with the articulation, we have articulation in the neck, and he can look around really nicely. He can even look up a bit. So it definitely articulates really, really well. Beautifully. You can actually swivel the head totally around if you wanted to look totally insane. But then again, we also have the articulation of the jaw, which we did mention previously. As we move down, we've also got articulation in the shoulders. Mine are very stiff because I literally just got this out of the package and haven't moved any of the articulation or anything yet. We've also got articulation right here, right under the shoulder, and in the elbow joint as well. Also in the wrist, which is on a swivel, and you can actually articulate it this way. So there is just tons of articulation. You've also got articulation right here in the chest on a swivel. Yeah, it feels like it would probably go the whole way around if I tried. And then you've got articulation right here, which is a little... There we go. We can articulate that right now. And then you've got articulation in the legs, in the knee, which works beautifully. And then down here as well, right in this spot. And then in the ankle, which also articulates really, really well. It actually kind of snaps into place, which is really cool to see because it's going to make sure that the foot stays in exactly the position you want it to stay into. So incredible articulation, just an absolute ton as far as that goes. And then as far as displaying it on the base, of course you've got the holes here on the foot, so you can basically decide where you want to put it exactly. You just have to match the holes up with the pegs, which is a little tough to do when I'm not looking at it. I'm trying to look at it through the camera. So we put these little guys all over it here, and there we go. Look how amazing looking this is. Incredible looking for sure. Even with these little additions, even if you actually take those all away, we just flick them off here, get each and every one of them off. Even if we don't use those, look how awesome this looks. Really awesome work from Creatureplica. Again, like I stated, these are the type of figures that any fan of cryptozoology or cryptids in general would love to have. The type of thing that me personally, I didn't expect us to ever really get. And I have quite a few figures of cryptids already, but nothing like these. These are just off the charts beautiful for sure. As far as the size goes, for a height on our Rougarou, you're going to see it come in at just about 10 inches, almost to the top of the ear, or about 25 centimeters. And then as far as the base goes, for a length, you're going to see it at about 5 inches or 13 centimeters. And then we go from this direction. It's not too big from this side, about 3 inches or 8 centimeters. Really nicely sized. It's actually, again, just like the Himalayan Yeti, it's quite large, unexpectedly large. For a size comparison, like we usually do, we compare it with the Papo Rex, and you can see that it totally towers over the Papo Rex. It is definitely much larger than our Papo buddy. And for another size comparison, we will bring in an Attack Pack Colovosaurus, along with our friend here, Robert Muldoon, who looks to be very small next to this incredibly large Rougarou figure. And if I were Muldoon, I would not take a chance here standing next to the Rougarou. Just like the Yeti looked like it was going to rip off Muldoon's head, the Rougarou looks like it would do the same. These other two maybe would stand a chance. Actually, let's get the Colovosaurus out of there. Also wouldn't stand a chance. The Papo Rex, maybe, but even him, I don't know about that. This guy's definitely too large and intimidating looking, but you should hopefully have an idea now, next to these figures, how large this truly is. It's definitely a very sizable piece. So this Creatureplica Rougarou is amazing. Really amazing work continuously out of Creatureplica. The type of figures that they make are seriously dream-worthy, like I had stated earlier. If you are a fan of cryptids in any way, these are definitely your cup of tea. This is definitely the type of figure that you should go ahead, search out, and purchase because they are incredible, and I believe the price is about $35, or you can actually buy all four in one set for a slightly discounted rate, which is always fun as well, to get a few bucks off if you actually purchase all four. And even though I haven't reviewed the other two quite yet, I can definitely say it's a very good value because all four look to be incredible, and this is 2 for 2 now when it comes to these Creatureplica figures. As far as looking incredibly amazing in person, this is yet another surefire win on their part. This is sculpted so beautifully. All the fur detail and everything is just out of this world as far as the sculpt and detail goes, and the paint application takes it to another level because the paint apps are so well done, really beautifully applied, giving it so many different tones of color and everything, and just an in general extremely realistic appearance. The base is also fantastic. The base helps to complement the model in every way, but also adds yet another level of realism to the figure because it's so wonderfully sculpted and painted just like the figure itself that this is an absolute treasure in my collection, and I'm so insanely happy now to have these here in my collection. Cryptids are definitely one of the most interesting things that I can think of because they're so mysterious and we just know so little about them. Some are just legends, some may be real, but regardless, I'm always extremely interested in them and have been for a very long time. So I figured I would share these guys with you guys, kind of break the trend of dinosaur reviews on here and mix it up a little bit by including some cryptid reviews from time to time, and I figured what better way to start than these amazing creature replica cryptid figures, because honestly they're probably the best cryptid figures that I have ever seen and probably will ever see. So if you want to pick this up, I will link you to the Creature Replica website where you can buy this Rougarou for yourself right now. So check the description, head on over there, purchase this unbelievably amazing articulated Rougarou figure for yourself. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.